I do that before every one of these. I've done like 200, and I still like to do that little breathing
I
exercise.
did it with you, so there you go. It
Okay.
works.
Yeah, heck yeah, it does. I'd like to welcome everybody back to Alabama Care. Today we have Mrs. Abby Slupe, a dance instructor, and we're going to be talking about dance movement class here in Vestavia Hills. At this point, I'd like to hand it over. Mrs. Slupe, if you would introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Abby Slupe. I am, like you said, a dance instructor at Vestavia Hills, and I do a special needs movement dance class. I was born and raised here in Birmingham, Alabama. I've been teaching dance since I was in high school, teaching this class specifically for the past 4 years. But yeah, so that's me.
Well, we appreciate you being here with us. And what was the idea kind of behind this dance movement class, specifically for the disability community?
Yes. So, like I said, I've been teaching dance, taking dance for a long time. My younger sister, Lauren, she has Down syndrome and she loves to sing and dance. And she's been taking dance classes ever since she was little, too. So, I've always kind of had a place in my heart for the special needs community. And so, it was just a natural fit. I really wanted a class where parents and students felt most comfortable coming. And so that's what just kind of started it. And it's been fun. It's been going strong.
Now, you mentioned Lauren is a younger sister. Did I hear that correct?
Yes, she's 17.
Okay. So I imagine growing up, your household was just like a constant DJ where you're both like hopping around dancing growing up.
Well,
And
we
she
actually have two more sisters too who all took dance. So there are
was,
four girls and we all took dance. And so, yeah, my poor dad, he had to listen to all of that constantly.
yeah, you beat me to the punchline there. Heart goes out to your dad.
Attending all the dance recitals. Poor guy.
Now, what are kind of the benefits of movement and dance? Maybe if I'm thinking about coming to the dance class, or I'm a parent thinking that my son or daughter might enjoy the dance class, what are some of the benefits of the movement?
So, dance has so many benefits in general, strength, posture, balance, coordination, so many. I know specifically individuals with Down syndrome have lower muscle tone. So, this class can really help them build up that muscle. And so, it's got so many benefits for the kids. And it also just has so many benefits for the parents as well. I know that my mom has loved coming to class. They have their own room that they sit in, it's right next to the dance room so they can overhear the chaos that's going on. But it's kind of had a nice community feel for them as well, that they get to meet up weekly and talk through what they're going through with their kid. And so, the dance aspect is great and it's super beneficial for health and physical activity, but it's also super beneficial for the parents as well.
So, normally when individuals attend the class, their parents may be in an adjacent classroom, kind of hanging out together, round table, talking about, what their son or daughter is going through, some challenges, and really meeting other families that are kind of in your tribe. So it's like the kids get to let out all this energy, work on movement, and then the
And the
parents
parents have a
get.
little therapy session next door. Exactly.
That's what I was thinking there. So, when is this dance class? So, give everybody an overview. We're here in Birmingham. Daytime, how to get there, those types of things.
Yes, so we start actually next week, next Wednesday. Classes from 5 to 5:45, 45 minutes long. And like I said, parents can sit in the room next door or you can drop and pick up whatever's convenient for them. It's at the Vestavia Hills United Methodist Church. And yeah.
Now, one of the things that I think parents may be interested in learning is if their son or daughter is going into class, maybe they need a little bit more support, one-on-one support. So, is it set up like a yoga class where there's one instructor and maybe 30 students, or are there multiple teachers that are on site with you?
So we've kind of partnered, and Vestavia Dance actually dances at Vestavia Hills United Methodist Church as well. That's where I grew up dancing. They have been so gracious and so helpful to help me with this class. They provide assistance, they provide, the room, the space, and they coordinate with the dates and the times that work best for me and for the parents, for the students. So yes, there's me, there's an assistant, and then there's also other teachers teaching other classes simultaneously as well in other rooms.
Okay, perfect. So there's multiple people on campus that are kind of overseeing class structure, those types of things. So it's not just like,
Mhm.
if okay, so I have a family member, she's 57, and she uses a wheelchair when she's out in the community. But I would get nervous if I were to drop her off in a room and there was one person there and 30 students. So there are multiple
Definitely.
people, that can
Yes.
take care of. Go ahead.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. And why did you pick Wednesdays 5 o'clock?
It worked best for the parents, actually. So that's kind of what we just rolled with.
I'm always wondering about that for our broadcast. Facebook says we go live on Facebook. Facebook says
Mhm.
Wednesdays at 11 to 12 is like the hot spot for that.
Yeah,
Doesn't always work for my schedule or for everybody else's schedule, but I'm always looking for the hot times of the week when we should be going live. So it's
something
interesting that
about
family.
Wednesdays just makes it easier. You feel like you're
Yeah,
through the middle of the week and you can push through.
like you've gotten most of your work done on Monday, Tuesday. You get a little relief on Wednesday, and then you power through Thursday, Friday. Well, maybe half of Friday,
Exactly.
then you're good.
Exactly.
Okay, so I come to class. My child comes to class. What exactly does that look like? What movements are they going to be doing? Are there any expectations of mobility that my son or daughter should have? How does that 45 minutes get broken down?
So basically, why we call it a movement class and not just a dance class is because I like to incorporate kind of all kinds of movements and techniques and stretching and this and that. So we'll start on the floor and we'll start stretching. We kind of go around the circle, talk about our day, building friendships, relationships with the students as well. And then we will do across the floor exercises. So across the floor just means a dance move that travels across the floor. Easy enough.
Mm.
So we'll do our kicks, our jetés, our chasses, our leaps. I teach all of that, so they're not expected to know it coming in. So from across the floor, then we'll do center, where the students will stand in the center of the floor, and we'll go over our dance words. So we'll learn what a plie is, what a releve is, what a passe is, an arabesque, a tendu. So they're not just learning dance; they're learning some French as well. But so that's impressive. That's nice. That's a nice talking point. But so after that, we'll play some games. They love freeze dance. They love baby shark, chicken dance, any Frozen song. We usually always end with a Frozen song, and they belt out the words too. So that's fun.
Yeah. Now you mentioned a few words in there that sounded French to me: gentes and sachets.
Yes. Do I need to
What is-
demonstrate?
I don't have no idea what a gente and a sachet is.
It's kind of like a skip. A chasse is kind of like a skip, and a jeté is kind of like just a kick.
Okay. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm gonna have to anchor that with a video later on. I'm gonna type that into Google and see what that is all about.
There you go.
Um, so it's movement, but it's also a lot of interaction with peers.
Mm-hmm.
Opportunity to interact with your friends there, kind of joke, have some inside conversation, get along with them. Um, how many students are currently registered? Is this your first time going through this class?
No, I've done this class, I think the past 4 years. I did it a little bit when I was in high school, and that's when it started, but it was just kind of, come if you can kind of thing. Wasn't super structured. But I took it over after college, after I came back to Birmingham.
Hmm.
So I think I have 11 registered so far this year. The age range is like fourth grade to high school, too. So it's very wide age range. Yeah.
Do you have anybody of interest that is maybe like my aunt, 57 years old?
No, I have not, but I would love that. I've had some interest from a lot younger kids, and I'd love to do that if there were enough requests, but I haven't had any of the older, but that would be fun.
Yeah, I think it's so important to have that movement. So my family member has cerebral palsy. Very important that she uses her muscles, her skeletal structure as much as possible. And I always grew up playing sports. It was always pretty high energy, I should say. And my parents were like, "Yeah, you got to get out of here, go do something else." And that was sports. And dance is a sport, so it's a way to get out that energy, help you focus, meet friends, those types of things. We might have to check it out. Normally, we don't get out of the house after 5, but we might have to check this dance thing out. Now, my aunt is in a wheelchair. Is the
Mhm.
class wheelchair acceptable and open arms to wheelchair users?
Yes, I haven't had a wheelchair user thus far, but I'm not scared of it. I don't want to, you know, not let anyone join the class because they're in a wheelchair. As long as they're having fun, then come on,
Yeah, come on over.
come on, we'll work it out. We'll roll with it. No pun intended.
We've been thinking at Alabama Care that we'd like to do some type of kind of class like that for individuals that receive services, maybe twice a month, meaning maybe that's a drum circle, or maybe that is an instructor teaching them how to dance from home, those types of things. Would you guys be open to doing maybe one a month where we come and do a live broadcast and just have the
Yes,
camera
that
set
would
up?
be so much fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
have the camera
definitely.
set up in the class. Maybe mic you up and you can instruct anybody that wants to follow along. So,
Yeah,
is this a thing that is this a thing that it has to be in person, or can I use some of these dance and these movements at home?
you can use this everything at home, and it will continue to benefit. You can stretch at home, you can do the dance moves at home, and you can show off at home too to all your family and friends.
You can entertain your family there. I know I was probably doing that far too often when I was younger. Hey, watch me.
Yeah.
Watch me. Now, how big is the space there in Vestavia Hills?
It's about typical dance room size, 20 by 30 feet. There are mirrors all along the wall and marley flooring. So it's whole set up like a dance room.
Okay. And when people think of this, because it is at Vestavia Hills, are your organization, are you more faith-based like the church, or are you more dance company? How should people think of this dance class? I'm going to church and they're just kind of moving around, or we're doing a dance class at a church.
I would like to say we're doing a dance class at a church.
Okay.
Mhm.
And why Vestavia Hills Methodist?
So like I said, I grew up dancing at Vestavia Dance, and their facility is at Vestavia Hills United Methodist. So it was, and they have dance rooms. They have the whole upstairs dance rooms, and they have a couple downstairs as well. So we're in the downstairs dance room. But it was an easy transition for me coming from that studio and being able to talk to them and say, "Hey, I've got this idea. Is there a room that we can utilize?" And so they were already there. They already had the rooms, the speakers, everything set up. So it was just easy.
Yeah, it made sense. They were familiar with you. They already had the
Mhm.
space for it. So
Exactly.
everything kind of clicked there. What is the cost to the participant and the family?
So the way it's broken up is 250 per semester. There are 2 semesters, one that runs August through December, and then the second one that runs January through May. I would encourage anyone to try the class out first, see if it's a good fit, and if the cost adds any kind of stress or anything like that, we can find a resolution for that.
Okay. So that's 250, 500 bucks for the year, and you're getting 52 classes. It's about 10 bucks a class for 45 minutes of getting your dance out there. And I don't think we've
It's
touched
quick
enough
math.
on, yeah. So the individual, the child, the student gets to get some energy out. But I don't think we've talked enough about the benefit to the families. Can you talk a little bit about that? Maybe what some family members have said, oh, I didn't know this or I learned this kind of in their side room talking with each other.
Yes. So my mom usually stays in that side room and talks with all the other moms. And it's great because we do have such a wide range of ages and students from different school systems or have already graduated from a school system too. And so the moms can really kind of, or the parents, I guess, dads can come too, um, can really
Shout out.
conversate and can really conversate and talk about, okay, my child is struggling with this. Has anybody else gone through this? Or what's your advice on this? And so it really is, just formed a close knit community within that classroom.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to shout out the dads group. Lane Hagan, he's part of that. So dads represent here on Alabama Care. I feel like
There you go.
sometimes, um, a lot of the community is primarily female or moms, those types of things. So we do like to shout out the dads whenever we can get a mention there.
Definitely.
All right, so about $10 a class, and this is pretty consistent. So it gives your child an opportunity to get some energy out, be around peers. Also gives you an opportunity to go into another room, know that your child is safe, and have some conversations with like-minded individuals. Maybe you have questions. Maybe your son or daughter is 5 years old and is going into the education system and you're unsure of what that's going to look like. Well, there's probably somebody there whose son or daughter is dancing in the next room that's 10 years old, been in the education system for 4 or 5 years, and they know how to teach you how to talk to the teachers, what an IEP plan is, those types of things. I think it's so important that we're able to communicate with people that have been there, where we're trying to go, that can help us along that path. I'm going to throw you a
Definitely.
curveball. I'm going to throw you a curveball here. Um, Long term, I've spoken with a number of families where the mother and father are caregivers. Their son or daughter who receives services stays in the home. And as they age, they get nervous of what the future looks like for them. Have you had conversations as a family about you as a sister, possibly, and your other sisters taking on the role of guardianship and what that looks like?
We've talked about it a little bit in passing. My parents are in their early 60s, so they're still going strong, still got all the energy in the world. So we haven't talked about it in depth, but that's obviously a conversation that we'll definitely have as a family.
Hmm. Yeah, I know. There are some times when it's an expectation and it doesn't get talked about, and then it doesn't work out in the end. So, uh, but there are three proud sisters that are feel like willing to jump in and do what is necessary.
Definitely, yes.
So, what does the future of the dance movement class look like? Is this something you're looking to get in other churches? Um, what are kind of the goals for the next 3 to 5 years?
It honestly kind of just depends on the interest that I receive. I would love to add a younger class or an older class as well.
Mhm.
Um, and I guess the location would just depend on the requests and the needs of whoever asks. We'll see. I mean, you mentioned doing a live stream, and that would be super cool to do as well, especially because I've had a lot of interest from families that say, "Oh, I wish something like this was offered near us. There's nothing like this over here." And, that would be great to be able to do a live stream and bring them into the class as well so they feel included and can be there with us basically.
Yeah, I feel like it's something. If I was a parent, where I would be like, my son or my daughter looks forward to this every Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Here's your computer. Abby's on screen. Here's your classmates. You can jam out in this room. This is the office. We're gonna close the door. We'll put on the strobe light. It's all yours. But they look forward to it every Wednesday at 5 o'clock. And we're looking to provide something like that for our audience members if they're looking forward to it. So we will I'll reach out. We'll talk about that. See if maybe we can set up a live stream at 5 o'clock on Wednesdays. Maybe once a month.
Definitely.
We'll start off. I'd like to start off with once a month.
Yeah,
Um,
that'd be
for anybody that is watching this, will watch this in the future. If you're starting to feel like you want to get up and dance, what is a good dance song you'd recommend typing into YouTube, Spotify, those types of things?
Oh, I don't know. That just depends on you or whoever wants to dance. Any song that'll get you moving. I have a student who loves Kids Bop. I have a student that loves Cheetah Girls and all Disney songs. I do take song requests in class, and I think that's probably their favorite part. They get to pick what song we warm up to, and they get excited when they hear their song come on. So I just say any song that'll get you up and moving is a good dance song.
I always feel like that Baby Shark gets me going. I can't stop when I hear that. It's like
It's
so dang
catchy.
catchy.
It'll stay in your
Yeah,
head all day too, let me tell you.
I don't want to play it right now because it will get stuck in my head. What are some upcoming events or things that we should be subscribing to? Do you guys have a YouTube channel, website, those types of things? How do we get involved?
We don't. Vestavia Dance has their own website, their own Instagram. I'm just kind of a class under Vestavia Dance. So
Mhm.
no, but I mean, upcoming events is our first dance class next Wednesday. And also we haven't done the past few years because of COVID, a dance recital with Vestavia Dance. And Vestavia Dance helps them pick out their costumes and order their costumes and get to perform with the Vestavia Dance dancers. And so usually we'll perform first. So you're not sitting through hours long of a recital because I know how that is. But the students still they still get to, perform for their friends and their family and have that whole experience and being on stage and all that. So that's
Yeah,
fun too. That's in May.
that is in May, you said?
Yes.
That's something Clifton, we're definitely going to put that on the schedule. I'm going to reach out to Abby and see if we can do that dance. Never been to a dance recital, so this will be my
Yeah.
first time.
You don't know what you're in for.
That's kind of a double-edged sword. Like, come,
They
it's going
can
to be
they
fun.
can get they
Eh,
can get very lengthy. But that's why Vestavia Dance has been so great. They'll say, "Do y'all want to go first?" And we'll say, "Yes." I know the moms say, "Yes, we want to get in and we want to get out."
Now, is the dance movement class, is this something that you're seeing other churches, even nationwide? Is this a movement that you're kind of seeing others do?
I haven't really looked, to be honest. I think that there are some other studios maybe in Birmingham that offer a special needs dance class as well, but I haven't really looked into it. I would love for it to just take off and all dance studios provide their own special needs class to serve their own communities. That would be amazing.
Mm, I agree. It's something that's important, the movement part of it. I've been trying to get a dance class at there's a place off at 31, Fred Astaire or something like that, or some
Okay. Yeah,
studio.
yeah, yeah.
For whatever reason, I've had to cancel one time. The instructor had to cancel twice. I'm still trying to get in for my West Coast swing, and
Oh.
I'm frustrated about it. So you don't teach any West Coast swing, do you?
I don't even know West Coast swing.
Oh my
I
gosh,
don't.
I'm gonna have to send you some links for that one.
Yes, definitely.
Um, so as we kind of come to a close here, I'd like to open the door for anything that we haven't talked about. Specifically, if you're speaking to somebody that's a sister of a person that receives services, what would you say to them?
Just support your sibling as much as possible. Support your parents and what they're doing for your sibling and just try to encourage them and be there for them as much as possible. I know that with my family it's such a team dynamic. If I need to watch Lauren, I can watch her at the drop of a hat. If I need to take her to dance class or pick her up from school, we're always so flexible. And I think that's been the greatest benefit from having an individual with special needs in our family was all of us learned how to be flexible and adapt and be understanding and a lot of patience.
Mm. I like that you say a lot of patience there and teamwork. Those are two
Mhm.
words that really stand out for me. And I think, it takes a village to raise that kind of thing, but your family has to be very strong and supportive of each other um, in order for everybody to reach their dreams there. So, Mrs. Sloop, I appreciate you taking the time from your morning to kind of tell us exactly what you're doing there at Vestavia Hills. So for anybody that's unfamiliar with Vestavia, so are you on the 31? Is the church on 31, or where exactly is it?
Yes. Yeah, it's right off of 31. I think it's Canyon Road, but it's right
Okay.
off of 31.
It's kind of up that hill a little bit.
Yeah, well, maybe I said the wrong road. The
I'm thinking
Walgreens on
about
31. The Walgreens on 31, right across from the Vestavia little city center where there's the Panera and the movie theater. So we're right
yeah,
across the street.
I live in
Put it into
McCalla,
your maps
Alabama.
because I have to.
I'm a hick. I live out in the country. All you city folks, I don't know where all this is. But Panera,
I
never
still
seen
can't get around. I'm born here, raised here. I still have to use maps for everything.
it. Yeah. Well, thank you once again for spending some time with us this morning. And for anybody that's looking for dance movement in Birmingham area, Vestavia Hills Methodist Church, Abbey Sloop. Is there a website we should go to? Oh, do I have to register, or is this a drop off? Can I just show up with $10 in my hand?
You can show up.
Okay,
Easy. That
five.
was one of the things I wanted to make it as convenient as possible. If you want to show up for a few classes, we'll work out payment. I'm easy going, and just wanted to make it as easy and convenient for the parents and the students as possible. So you can show up, whatever.
Yeah, if you're feeling rambunctious, your kid is feeling a little rambunctious on Wednesdays at
Just drop them off
4:45.
for 45
Run
minutes.
over to Abby. She's gonna work them out. They're gonna sweat it. It's a, what they don't tell you is it's probably a hot sauna in there, so it's like a hot yoga studio. So they're gonna be coming out drenched. They're gonna be wanting to
Crank up
nap
the
after that.
heat. Exactly. Yeah.
5 o'clock on Wednesdays, Vestavia Hills Methodist Church. Come for as many sessions as you want, as little as you want. Get some energy out. Get your movement in. Do your stretching. It's going to help your body. It's going to help your mind. If you're a parent and your son or daughter needs to get some energy out, there is going to be some therapy for you in the next room, a peer group where other moms, other dads are talking about this. Abby mentioned that her mom is usually in there and has some experience there. Before we jump off, I am extremely interested. What does your shirt say?
Oh, it's actually, do you know what Biddy and Bo's is? It's a coffee shop that employs individuals with special needs.
Is
So
that
it
here
says,
in Alabama?
no, I got it in South Carolina, but they just opened one in Auburn. So the students there they just started working. I think it opened last week, but it says specifically stated in Wilmington, North Carolina in 2016, dedicated to changing the way people see other people.
Like it.
Yeah.
I like it. It's very hip sweatshirt
It's
as
very
well.
comfy too. Yes.
Yeah. I feel like that's the new style. So they're moving into Auburn. Hopefully, we'll get one here in Birmingham soon. I'd like to check that out.
Yeah, right? That would be so neat.
Yeah. Um, well, that about wraps it up. Is there anything that we haven't talked about you think we should touch on?
I think we covered everything.
Yeah. So, like I said, we're hoping to drop in one of these Wednesdays and do like a twice a month kind of uh, drum circle dance movement class for our audience members. So hopefully you'll let us in the door and we can see more about what it is dance movement class at Vestavia Hills.
Definitely. You're welcome anytime.
Mrs. Sloop, appreciate you. And at this point, we'll give our cameras a little bit of a wave and we will say, see you guys next time. Mrs.
Thank
Sloop, thanks
you.
again.
Bye.
and you can exit out of this window, and it will cancel a meeting for you.
Perfect.